Just about time to qualify at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Samsung Mobile 500. 46 drivers are here for 43 positions. During practice, we had 40 drivers separated by 0.6 of a second, and all 40 of those drivers ran a sub-29 second lap. So the battle for the pole position here at the mile-and-a-half Texas Motor Speedway will be intense. We'll have that for you in just a minute. The big story this week, of course, Kasey Kahne announcing that he is going to Hendrick Motorsports. Now, what we do know is that Kasey Kahne will be driving a Rick Hendrick car in 2012. What we don't know is what exactly he'll be doing in 2011. A little while ago here at the Texas Motor Speedway, Kasey addressed the media.
Yeah, I'll be part of, I'll work through it with Mr. Hendrick and figure out exactly what we need to do in 11 that makes the most sense. As far as right now, I still don't know, and I'm leaving it up to those guys. I think they made the commitment to me, and Rick said he'll make sure it's right, and that and I took that as I think it'll be a pretty good opportunity, a pretty good situation I'll be in next year, and in order to know that I'll be in the 5 after that, I was able to take that somewhat of a risk and wait a month or 2 months, whatever it is, to figure out what 2011 will be. But the future, definitely will be really good to be part of that team, part of that organization.
Randy Pemberton joins me now out here at the speed stage, and Mark Martin told Bob Dillner earlier today he's going to race in 2012. So, Randy, a lot of unanswered questions right now, but the big news, obviously, that Kasey Kahne is going to Hendrick Motorsports.
He is, and I think the speculation is that somehow he's going to end up with Stewart-Haas Racing in 2011 in some capacity. It would be as a driver, and I think that would be the logical position for Rick Hendrick to put him in, considering they do have an alliance with Stewart-Haas Racing. But the one thing that comes to mind right now for Kasey Kahne, for me, is the fact that he still has 31 races to go in this car right here. He's got to do everything he can for himself, for his organization, for his team. As you see his car right there getting ready to line up to qualify. But, there's a lot of work to be done if they can keep this project together for the remainder of the season, which is still an unknown.
To your point, it is still mid-April.
Yeah.
And we're talking about 2011 and 2012 already.
Do you recall a high-profile driver this early being part of the silly season? I don't recall it.
No, not at all, Randy. Let's go down to the garage, and we'll start with Bob Dillner. Bob?
Well, Steve Burns, there are so many different angles to this story. One of them, crew chief for Mark Martin, Alan Gustafson. I want to know, in talking to Mark this morning, he says, hey, I'm in the 5 car for 2011. Is that a relief to you, and are you kind of optimistic and excited about possibly working with Kasey Kahne in 2012?
Yeah, I mean, that's, Mark driving the car in 11's always been the plan, and even in the press release and everything that's came out since, that's always been the plan. So I knew that was happening. I'd love to have Mark Martin in there till, 2021 or as long as he wants to go. But at some point in time, he's going to cut it back. But it's great to have him anytime you're associated with Mark. It's a wonderful thing, and he does a lot of good for us at Hendrick Motorsports, and we're proud to have him driving our car. And Kasey, I think, is a huge addition for our team. And with Mark coming to the end of his career, there's going to come a point where we're going to have to replace him. And fortunately for us, we've been able to get a marquee driver like Kasey Kahne signed, and a guy who can carry us into the future and has the potential to become one of the sports greats like Mark Martin is. So really excited about all of it. It's really good things for us at Hendrick Motorsports, and just happy to be a part of it.
They get some of the best drivers in the business at Hendrick Motorsports lined up now and in the future. But next year, Hermie Sadler, where does Kasey Kahne wind up?
Well, Randy talked about it, at the beginning of this little broadcast about where Kasey Kahne may end up. The logical choice would be at Stewart-Haas Racing. Tony Stewart from day one has always said, we'd like to have a third team when the right time comes along with the right sponsor and the right driver. And Kasey Kahne could be that right driver, partnering with Rick Hendrick to get him in a Chevrolet in 2011. But one thing, guys, we're not discussing a whole lot, and that is Kasey Kahne's crew chief, Kenny Francis. To me, Kenny Francis is very underrated as a crew chief. I think he's one of the top 5 chassis guys in this sport. I think he and Kasey Kahne have got a great relationship. They've been able to win a lot of races and run well through a lot of adversity at Richard Petty Motorsports. The question to me is, how does Kenny Francis eventually fit into this equation with Kasey Kahne, and how does that affect where Rick Hendrick places Kasey in 2011? So a good problem to have if you're Hendrick Motorsports, but don't forget, Kenny Francis will have a say in what goes on with Kasey Kahne in the future, in my opinion, guys.
Well, Herbie, good point by you. And Randy, the other question briefly is the future of Richard Petty Motorsports.
Well, you know, it's going to be difficult. They're going to have to fill the void there with Kasey Kahne, perhaps Budweiser, and boy, isn't Hendrick fortunate when you start talking about the kid is just 30 years old. His best races are in front of him.
Hey, stay with us, folks. When we come back, David Reagan, the first driver to qualify here at Texas.
We are ready for what may well be the fastest and certainly most logo-filled qualifying session of 2010. It has warmed up. The temperature was not expected to break 70, so there's another record out the window. 77, light breeze, and a little bit of overcast as we get set to qualify the NASCAR Sprint Cup cars. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip with you. Once again, a few minutes ago, Joey Logano nailed down the pole for the nationwide race at 185 miles an hour, which tells us the track is fast. If anybody breaks 28 seconds, Darrell, it'll be the fastest pole run of the year so far.
Yeah, we saw that at Charlotte last fall. There was Atlanta. Atlanta last fall, and in
the spring race.
Last time we were there, that would have been the spring, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay. So it wasn't Charlotte, it was Atlanta. It was in the spring, not the fall.
And they have a drag strip.
So other than that, I think
how are we doing so far?
Other than that, I think it's going to be a really fast qualifying session, and I will yield the rest of my time to Mr. McReynolds.
I'm almost scared to say anything. But honestly, if we can better that speed, not only will that be the fastest qualifying speed of 2010, it will be the fastest that this new car has ever been. And remember, this is only the third race with that new conventional rear spoiler, and everyone thought this would be the test for this spoiler. Of course, qualifying's one thing, getting ready to race will be another.
So we think more drag down the straightaway, slower straightaway speed, but maybe faster corner speeds. Let's find out from a fellow who's about to go out there and find out for himself. Dick Bergman's with him.
And that's Matt Kenseth. And you've won here in Sprint Cup competition, won here in nationwide competition, but we got some new stuff going on this weekend. New spoiler, a new tire, and a little bit of a kink in the weather. You think we're going to see a track record this afternoon?
I have no idea. Not for me, you probably won't. But yeah, it's been a while since we won here, but I love coming to this racetrack. It's a great track. We had a lot of great fans here. So we weren't extremely fast today with our Crown Royal Black Ford. So I'm hoping to get the best lap we can here qualifying, and hopefully we'll get all our practice tomorrow to tune on a little bit more.
Okay, go get them. Chris Devoda.
Well, how's this for a headline? Scott Speed goes from not qualifying for this race last year to sitting on the pole. Could that happen today?
I don't know going out this early, but certainly we're pretty strong in practice. So, I'm hoping we get at least, a top 15 starting spot for Sunday. But you never know.
Well, and he has an advantage. That new haircut might make him more aerodynamic, Mike.
You never know. David Reagan, 28th in the Sprint Cup standings. Best start to the season, 15th at California. He started 4th here in this race last year.
David has a pole in the Nationwide Series, did that back in 2007.
If the expectation is that the spoiler is creating more drag, slowing him down on the straightaway, then perhaps it means that downforce and that balance to this package is giving them more speed through the corners, as Reagan is at 28.45 on his
That's
first
a couple
lap.
of tenths over his practice speed. Take that practice speed that we had for Greg Biffle at a 30. If he could pick up a couple of tenths, we're going to be right at that fastest lap that this car has seen ever.
Which is at Atlanta, where they qualified at 192.761 miles per hour. To run that speed here would take a 28.01.
And we're pretty sure we'll see this, especially on the top 35 cars. The money lap is the first lap because that's when you have the most grip with the tires. But more importantly, the speed you're running here, as much tape as possible on that nose. Try to run a second lap is just going to get too hot.
The thing you got to do to have a really good fast lap, and I guarantee you, watch Juan. He'll run a very unorthodox line compared to everybody else. It's the Juan Montoya line. But you got to come out of the pits down here. When you leave pit road, you have got to go as fast as you can go up through the gears, get as much speed as you can coming to get to green, because that one lap, you got to maximize that coming to get to green speed.
Montoya has the best average start of all drivers this season, 8.3, and he has qualified in the top 10 in all 6 races where we've had time trials this year.
He actually lost quite a bit of time getting down into turn 3 and 4. This lap's not going to be quite as fast as David Reagan. In fact, Montoya pretty much runs the same speed he ran in practice.
He did not run his normal line. He ran a conventional line and it looked like it hurt him.
28.60 for Montoya. Rudeman next. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Texas is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 footlong subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. And brought to you by the Sponsifier. Visit ToyotaRacing.com, click on Design It, and enter it. And by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. David Rudeman won his 2nd career pole here at Atlanta last April. He has 2 top 10 starts this season. Atlanta and Bristol, DNF'd in both those races. And last week at Phoenix dropped 1 spot in the point standings to 25th.
Yeah, started the season off so well with the top 5 finish in the Daytona 500. And as you mentioned, the last 4 races, he's finished 20th or worse with his 00 car.
Pretty good looking lap. Rudeman usually qualifies well here.
51 for David. That's 28.51. 189.3 miles per hour.
He picked up a 10th from what he ran in practice.
Krista?
Well, Clint Boyer's already been out here for a qualifying run in the Nationwide car. So did you learn anything, and can it apply to this car?
Well, I hope I didn't learn too much. That's the thing. You don't want to learn too much from it because it is quite a bit different. And when it is different, it really shows up like here in qualifying. But Cheerios Hamburger Helper Chevrolet was really good in practice. We were right up at the top of the board. I think we got a shot at this thing. That gun's really sweet. I was in there for Nationwide qualifying so well, and I happened to walk by and see that gun. So I think it looked good on my trophy case.
Hey, how about a little gun humor? He's going to give it a shot.
Thanks, Krista. Here's our Sponsifier track description brought to you by Toyota Racing. This 1.5 miles is banked 24 degrees in the corners, 5 on the straightaways. The front stretch, being D-shaped, is much longer than the back.
And the one thing that makes this track so unique, and Darrell has raced here, is you see that 24 to 5 degrees. It happens in a hurry. The transition is quick getting into the corner, quick getting out.
It'll dump you getting off the corner. I can tell you that. It'll slap right out into that wall. But one of the things I'm looking at, Larry, and I think it's going to cause these guys a little bit of trouble getting into turn 3, is you got a pretty big tailwind down the back straightaway. Now the grandstands will kind of shed that wind away from you going into turn 1, but when you head down the back, you're going to have a pretty good tailwind. You better watch that 3rd turn. It could slip up on you, get in there a little too hot.
David Gilliland's Taco Bell Ford comes in here 35th in points, 34th in the all-important owner points, and he is 4th of 4 right now with Bobby Labonte and Scott Speed next. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying presented on Speed by Subway. David Reagan quickest so far to 28.45. Bobby Labonte carrying the re-election campaign of Rick Perry for governor of Texas on the TRG Racing Chevrolet.
You saw right there, Bobby has 2 poles here at Texas Motor Speedway. Did that, of course, when he was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing in that 18 cars he did for a number of years.
Seems to me like if I was running against Governor Perry, then I would have a car out here to compete with my Rick Perry car.
Would make sense.
Then they'd have to qualify at the same speed so they'd stay within the equal time rule.
Oh, yes, by
we
all
are,
means.
Bound by as broadcasters or something.
Fair and balanced?
Yes. Yeah, we decide and then you decide. 28.93 for Bobby Labonte.
That's exactly what Bobby ran in practice. Now Bobby looks like he's going to be the first car to go for a 2nd lap.
I think not.
I think not. He did not like what he felt off of 2 or getting down into 3. And I think Krista's with a guy that took a pretty wild ride in Nationwide Series qualifying.
Yes, he certainly did. Talk about quite a day. Quickest in Cup practice, and then go for a spin in Nationwide qualifying. So what are you expecting here?
Well, hopefully not that. The post at 3M Ford Fusion, a pretty good car.
Really excited about it. I think if we could do that lap that we did in practice, which was a 30, it seems like a few guys are picking up. But, you know, the sun's just not being our friend. You know, it was real cloudy at the beginning of that nationwide. Then the sun came out and got slick. And a lot of sun right now. I don't see a lot of clouds coming. But later on here in about an hour, I see some clouds. So we'll just wait and see how it plays out.
Thanks, Greg.
Scott Speed is next. Toga party or not, Speed was on the outside pole for Phoenix last week.
Whoa. Man, he was almost on the outside looking in, then back in really jumped out there as it went across the bump down in turn 1. It's going to cost him a good bit of time.
Thing was in a 4-wheel slide when it came off turn 2. Scott ran a 28.54 in practice. Doesn't look like he's going to get back to that.
Not quite, Larry, a 60.
Yeah, that little tail happy down there in 1 and 2 really messed him up.
So far, drivers have had a little difficulty backing up their practice speeds.
I think it might be, as Greg Biffle was referencing the sun. I mean, the sun's pretty bright right now, and that will slow you down some.
Yeah, the only one that's really done it is the guy that's fastest so far, David Reagan, who picked up almost 2/10 from what he practiced.
There are a lot of big puffy clouds in the area. They're just not over the speedway. Scott Speed's second lap is slower. Coming up next, Elliott Sadler, Matt Kenseth, and Clint Boyer. Welcome back to Texas, where Elliott Sadler takes to the track in the Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford. Elliott had his 400th career start last week, but had to settle for his worst finish of the season, 31st. 3 times he has been an outside pole sitter here in Texas.
Got a win here in 2004. You talked about 400 starts. Elliott is closing in on almost 200 races since that last win, which was at Auto Club Speedway, I think, about 2005.
Well, there was one race here, the one he won when he was driving. I guess that was Yates' car.
Yep.
Man, he had it figured out. That car was bad fast.
He has started on the front row here for the Wood brothers, for Robert Yates, and for Ray Evernham. Not this week. He is 6th of 7 with a 28.85. Krista?
Well, Carl Edwards has more wins at this racetrack than any other driver. How do you do it?
How did I do it? That's a good question. We need to run that well again. We got a great Scott Sport Fusion, and you know, David's up there on the provisional pole right now, so hopefully we can run well and have a good race. It's pretty good in practice.
All right, I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is waiting to talk to you, so I'll let you run.
On track is Edwards' teammate Matt Kenseth, the Crown Royal Black Ford Fusion. He has 9 straight finishes here of 12th or better and a win. Back in 2002, he's led more laps than any Cup driver all time here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Matt was quite a ways back in the practice session. He was 28th quickest. He's got about 6 top 10 starts here at Texas Motor Speedway.
The runner-up in the Sprint Cup standings, gained 1 spot in the points last week.
Loved that battle he and Jeff Burton here had a year or 2 ago. That was a great show.
That was a classic.
Yeah, really the only hiccup he's had this year was where it looked like he might be in position to win Martinsville. Ended up finishing 18th. Right now he's 5th quickest at a 28.62. About a 10th pickup from practice, which seems to be pretty much the norm right now.
Now that's something I hadn't seen for a while. My man there, Junebug. He's drafting. Got his hat on backwards. It's a good man. I like to see that. It means he's having fun.
A little confidence.
Yeah.
Clint Boyer had a big week in Phoenix, picked up 3 spots in the points to 6th. His best start of the season, 3rd in California. Finished 9th last week. And has a 3rd place start here in the fall race of 2008. See what the Cheerio Chevy can do.
And he's on the outside of the front row for the Nationwide Series race, driving that 21 car for Richard Childress Racing.
Well, to me, this is one of the hardest things the driver has to do. Get out of that Nationwide car and get right into his Cup car. They drive so different. Just amazing that you can have that much ability to get out of one end to the other and get a good result.
He ran a 28.51 in practice earlier. was 4th quickest.
Whoa, P1, 28:39 for Clint Boyer, 190.1.
I'm impressed. Sorry.
So Boyer is quickest, and Paul Menard, Marcus Ambrose coming up. Tonight on Speed, the Ultimate Friday Night House Party. Scott Speed and Paul Menard stop by and get some NASCAR track sign. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
We're going to get to the bottom of that whole toga deal with Scott Speed.
You got
We're
that
gonna find
right.
out what the real deal was.
Something's not right about that.
Just something?
I just didn't feel good about it.
And you'll find out what Paul Menard wants to do at least once on every continent of the earth.
He's got a lot of work to do to accomplish it. But
Athletics are involved.
It is.
Yes. Pretty cool. So here's the Menard's Quaker State Ford. Menard dropped 4 spots to 15th last week after finishing 29th. That was his first finish out of the top 20 this season.
Struggled in practice earlier. It was only 34th quickest. Pretty decent lap. 28.61 puts him 6th quickest. Becomes the 2nd quickest Ford.
Look at all those 60s.
Krista?
Well, the last time we were at a 1.5 mile track, this guy was on the pole. But how different are things now with this car and the spoiler? Anything relate to Atlanta anymore?
Can't tell no difference. We'll know more when we get around each other in practice tomorrow, but we were in qualifying practice all day, so out there by myself, felt the same.
Thanks, Dale.
Sort of amped up, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He's ready to go.
Ready to go. Get away. I got to get in this thing and go.
Marcus Ambrose gained 5 spots in the standings last week, up to 24th with an 11th place finish. He's made 3 trips here to Texas in the Cup car. His best start 11th in this race last year.
He's going to receive tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway the Sportsmanship of the Year Award. It's during the Texas Motorsports Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremony over in the Speedway Club a little later on tonight. Not going to be a great lap for Marcos, it doesn't look like. He was 30th quickest in practice earlier today. 9th.
28.71 for Ambrose. Coming up next, last week's winner, Ryan Newman, along with Greg Biffle. May 2nd, the world's toughest trucks head to America's heartland, and these drivers are itching for some beating and banging. It's the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, live from Kansas, May 2nd, 12:30 Eastern, only on Speed. Ryan Newman's win at Phoenix jumped him up 6 spots in the points to 16th. He has 2 top 10 starts this season, and he's driving the Army ROTC Chevrolet this week.
Yeah, with that win at Phoenix, 4th at Martinsville a couple of races ago, he's went from 26th to 16th. It's almost a mirror of the start of 2009 for this 39 team.
Good lap here.
Yeah, he's picking up speed. Got through 1 and 2 really nice. If he can pick up a little time here in 3 and 4, he's got a shot.
Flirting with it.
He's up there.
You're in a 28.53 in practice.
She's going to be close.
Real close, I mean.
2nd with a 42 to Clint Boyer's 39.
Car looked pretty good.
Dick?
Well, Clint Boyer, P1, but since you pulled into this garage area, you haven't smiled. How come?
Well, I didn't feel like I did my job and got it all. I really wanted to sit on the pole. I think there's some good cars coming. You know, weather's going to play a little bit, and it just wasn't our day for this. But hopefully it'll hold. Hopefully keep this Cheerios Hamburger Helper Chevrolet in the top 10. You know, we need a good qualifying spot here. Starting up front, clean air is such a big part of these 1.5 mile tracks like this, and a good pit stop. You know, but all in all, it's a good race car for us. It's a car we ran well at in California, and you know, hats off to the guys for bringing another good car back to the track.
Now that's a real racer, not satisfied with anything but the pole.
Yeah, I was curious at what it was he was sorry about, because as soon as he took the flag, he said, "I'm sorry. Sorry to be number 1, maybe." At this point.
Greg Biffle quick in practice, but spun during nationwide qualifying, and They don't have the U.S. Census on the car this week, but we remind you to send that census form in. Costs you nothing to mail it, but if you don't, it costs almost $60 per American household to go and get the information from you.
It's got your favorite sponsor on there this week.
knows this is going to be a good one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did it. 28-28. 28-28 for Greg Biffle.
Bettered his practice speed just by a couple of 100s.
Only guy over here that really can do that and know it's pretty good is when Jeff Gordon will do that coming off turn 4.
And when he comes off turn 2 and goes, oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, that's another good one too.
You know that's not good.
Off turn 2, yeah. Dick?
With Ryan Newman, what's the track like out there this afternoon, Ryan?
Well, it feels like it got a little bit greasier, but I think we made some good changes with the U.S. Army Chevrolet. We went faster. I think Biffle, I don't know if he went faster or not, but he was quick, and that's about it. I mean, I felt like I was better in 1 and 2 than I was in 3 and 4 for overall grip, but pretty good balance overall.
Okay, thank you.
So Ryan Newman now third to Biffle and Boyer.
Just notice Carl coming to get the green, Larry. He ran a really high line through 3 and 4, getting up a lot of straightaway speed, exiting turn 4 to come get the green flag.
Well, you talked about that just a little while ago. That's one of the more critical corners, knowing that the fastest lap's going to be the 1 lap.
And you can tell what you got too. When you get to the 3rd turn, when you're up to speed lap, you know what you got.
Little tug on the wheel mid-corner.
Yeah, he lost a little time there.
And here comes the Scott's Turf Builder Ford for Carl Edwards.
Came back a little bit.
28.59.
Yeah, he actually slowed down about a half a tenth from what he ran in practice. I don't know that Carl will be excited about that.
Well, here goes the guy I think's got a really decent shot at the pole based on his practice time. We'll see.
He is a 2-time pole winner here in Texas. The site of his first Sprint Cup win and also his first nationwide win.
Yeah, I never will forget that day when he won that Sprint Cup Series race. I don't know if there's ever been a dad any more proud than Dale Earnhardt Sr. was that day when he got to victory lane to congratulate his son.
And he packed her in there. It looks pretty good right there on that white line.
And I'm going to tell you what, he did. Whoa. And well, he's losing a little ground, but it stuck for the most part.
That's pretty good, though. He lost maybe a skosh off that corner, but tossed a little down the straightaway. Let's see if he can get it back here in the middle of 3 and 4.
Biffle has a 28-28.
It's
going the wrong way.
Slipping back. It's going to be close, but not good enough.
Third, 28-40.
Dale Jr. looking for his 5th top 5 start in 2010. Robbie Gordon, Kasey Kahne next. Sunday NASCAR race day stampedes into Texas. Phoenix race winner Ryan Newman live. Plus a trip to Welcome, North Carolina for a VIP shop tour of Richard Childress Racing. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Live Sunday noon Eastern on Speed. Dick?
In 2005, Greg Biffle won the race here at Texas Motor Speedway, but from the absolute back of the field, having crashed his primary car, backup car, dead last. How much better is Sunday going to be?
Well, the whole story is our cars were really, really fast in that era, and we blew a right front tire out in practice and unfortunately lost that car and won in a backup. But this car's really fast. Hopefully we don't have any issues in happy hour, but this posted car is running just as good as I remember in 05. And I'm in real trouble with these clouds coming over. These cars are going to pick up some speed, but that'll be good enough for a top 5 spot, and we'll be happy about that.
The Biff has been fast all day, Mike.
Thanks, Dick. A light overcast for Robbie Gordon's lap in the Monster number 7. Robbie just moved back into the top 35.
Yeah, it seems
with
funny.
His run at Phoenix.
Seems funny seeing him go right now.
Yeah.
I've been seeing him go at the end of the day, not at the middle like this.
28.77 for Gordon.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be delighted with that lap, but he's delighted knowing that he'll be here on Sunday racing.
I tell you what I was delighted with. The car looked good. It maybe doesn't have quite the lightning speed of some of these other cars, but it looked like it was driving good for him.
Kasey Kahne in the Budweiser Ford, who announced this week that he will leave Richard Petty Motorsports at the end of this season and has been signed by Rick Hendrick to drive the number 5 beginning in 2012.
And of course, the big question remains, you know, what car, what team will he drive for in 2011? We know they've already announced it will not be at Richard Petty Motorsports in 2011.
Well, we got a long time to figure out how that's all going to play out. And I'm telling you, it's so early in the planning stages of this whole thing. They got Kasey signed. Now they got to figure out how to make it all work.
Tell you what he's making work is this qualifying lap. He was in pretty good shape till he got off turn 2. Looks like he eased it down into turn 3 and picked the throttle up early.
It's going to be a good lap.
It's going to be a great lap. I don't think it's going to be a pole lap, but she's going to be right there.
Second, 28.31, just 3/100ths off Greg Biffle.
And you almost got him.
Krista?
Well, Mark Martin is always interested in everyone's laps for qualifying, but did you watch Kasey Kahne's lap with any more interest after the news that came out this week?
I'm watching everybody.
That's what I thought.
Gosh, no, we weren't very good in practice, and I know Alan and the guys have made some changes, and I'm just hoping everything to line up just right for us so we can get, you know, a reasonable starting spot and pit stall here. Hopefully we get a chance to work on it a little bit tomorrow. Car drove good, but was slow. That's half of it, I guess. We have got to find some speed. We were off on speed last week and seem to be this week too.
All right, this has not been one of Mark's better starting tracks, but definitely one of his better finishing.
Thanks, Krista. Kurt Busch in the Miller Lite Dodge looks like he could be on a pole run right here. He's never won a pole here. He has 2 second-row starts.
You know
Pretty
what's
solid, but losing down the back.
You know, we've seen several cars that's done that, Darrell. Looks like they got through 1 and 2 good, and then you start losing speed down the back straightaway.
I really think it's the exit to 2 over there, because if you come off there with a lot of wheel in it, you're really bogging the car down, and it doesn't show up till you get down the straightaway.
The winner here last fall clocks in at 28.43, 6th for Kurt Busch. Next, Regan Smith and Brian Vickers as pole qualifying from Texas continues.
Straightaway.
Speed's coverage of Sprint Cup qualifying from Texas is brought to you by Gander Mountain. You're up for spring at Gander Mountain's Get It, Get Outdoors event going on now. Regan Smith in the 78 went and did a little road racing school this week. I guess he went to Sonoma out there to Infineon Raceway to improve on his left and right turn skills.
And you know that they announced that, of course, they're still running Hendrick engines for the remainder of 2010 with this 78 car, but they did the technical alliance with Richard Childress Racing, and this is the first car that they actually got from Richard Childress that was a full-blown Childress car, same car they actually raced at Phoenix last week.
13th for Regan Smith, 28.61, 13th out of 19 for the 2008 Rookie of the Year, driving the Furniture Row Chevy. Dick?
With Kasey Kahne, second quick at this point. Is your qualifying setup close enough to the race setup that we can count on seeing you up front on Sunday?
I think we'll be pretty decent on Sunday. This is a similar package to what we ran at Atlanta, and we're really fast there. So it's good. Whole Budweiser Ford team did a nice job there and picked up some speed. I was a little bit loose, which I wasn't in practice qualifying, but we picked up some speed. So it was nice. That was a good lap. Hopefully we beat some of these guys that are coming up. There's some good cars to come.
How about we start a rumor and let the world know that you're just going to race sprint cars next year?
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good too.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Now to finish that story off, the reason he can't move directly to the number 5 is that Mark Martin is signed to drive that car through the 2011 season.
You know, real quick, I don't think we make note enough about what these guys do off the racetrack, but earlier this week, Kasey visited Fort Hood for a visit with about 3,000 soldiers stationed at that base. Courtesy of Kasey and Eddie Gossage here at Texas Motor Speedway, about 500 of those soldiers will be here to race on Sunday.
Great news. Brian Vickers on the Speedway, the pole sitter here for the fall race in 2006.
Car looks like it's really loose. Kind of chasing it around.
Didn't sound like it carried a lot of RPM past the start finish line.
Well,
not at all.
Well, what happens is you're not you can't get back to the throttle, and so you're kind of lugging the engine almost. You can't get that good wide open lap up off a turn.
29.13. He's the slowest of the 20 drivers thus far. Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson next. Monday, an all-new episode of Fast Track to Fame on Speed from Texas Motor Speedway. Michael Waltrip and Chris Devoto will co-host Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Brad Keselowski in the Penske Dodge, the Mopar Dodge number 12, makes his 4th appearance at Texas Motor Speedway in a Cup car. He did run for this team here last fall. Previously 2 trips here in a Chevrolet.
And that was the first race for him in the Penske number 12 car, was the fall race here. Now, he was 10th quickest in practice earlier. His teammate Kurt Busch right now is 6th quickest in that 2 car.
Larry, I believe these guys were planning on the track being a little bit more overcast than.
Slightly underdrove it, but it's really good.
Sun pops back out again, and it's 17th for Keselowski out of 21. Krista?
Well, after Clint Boyer's run, he came on the radio and said, tell Jeff, meaning Jeff Burton, I did exactly what we talked about. So let's talk to the other RCR driver. Do you know what they're talking about? What kind of line are you going to run?
No, I kind of do my own thing, I guess. Our Shell Pennzoil Chevy's been decent in practice, and we just try to go out and repeat what we did in practice and really try to hit your marks, and hopefully we can lay down a good lap.
I know you like the tracks where you slide around, so go ahead and have fun.
Thanks, Krista. Jimmy Johnson in the Lowe's Chevrolet, the defending Sprint Cup champion and the point leader, has never started worse than 18th in 13 races here at Texas.
Very fine line in what I watched him do down the back straightaway, going back and forth, trying to get a little heat in the tires, but at the same time, trying to make sure you're at full song when you get back over here to this start-finish line.
Yeah, it just knocks that new off those tires. It just gives you a little comfort when you get to the 3rd turn. And looks like it's giving him
speed, too.
Giving him a lot of comfort.
Yeah, it's going the other way.
Yeah, you heard the throttle. You could hear him kind of getting in and out of it. Couldn't quite get back to it.
Can he knock one of those Fords off the front row?
It's going to be good. But
not one of them.
Did it. 2nd. By 3 1,000ths of a second, he misses Greg Biffle for the pole.
Unbelievable.
Good job.
Darn it.
Darn it. I think Chad will be happy, though, because one of the things they didn't want to do was qualify back in the, 10th, 12th position.
Great work today.
Won't have to worry about that.
Because that got him in trouble in the fall race.
It did. I think they were really concentrating on that today.
Here is the fastest Chevrolet from practice. The Office Depot Old Spice number 14 for Tony Stewart. Stewart's never had a pole here, but he was 2nd quick to Greg Biffle by only 9 100ths in the practice session earlier.
Tony's making his 400th career start here this weekend. You talk about having to have a pole here. Tony only has 10 career poles in those 399 starts.
Might be 11.
This will be the telltale right here. Get up off the 2 without bogging it down a little bit. Hold that lap, hold that tracker over there, and he did pretty solidly. Now let's see how he rolls into 3. Get back to the throttle here, hard, wide open. Now he might have it.
Gives away a little. Dropping. Picking up.
He's going to be okay. He's going to be good.
He's got it. Smoke. 28-22.
Oh, man. Now you're talking. How close is that getting to what we were looking for?
He hasn't had a pole in 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Martinsville, 2005, October.
Well, he's at the top of the ladder now.
Looks like the boys like that spoiler. Just best I can tell.
Tony was one of the teams that did the Goodyear tire test here in January, and most of that test was with the rear spoiler, not the wing.
Sam Hornish has 4 Sprint Cup starts here with the best start of 11th. But he has 13 Indy Racing League races here and 3 victories. This should well be one of his best tracks.
Pretty good qualifier. They give him something to ride. He's pretty good.
He was 23rd quickest in practice. Tracker looking pretty good. Coming off turn 2, looks real good.
Got out of the hole good over there.
A little more sunshine on the racetrack now.
Now just listen to the throttle here and watch the tracker and see if he can get back wide open quicker than Tony did. pretty darn good right there.
Tony, stay on the pole, may be very brief.
I'm going to tell you what, he drove it down in the 3 and 4 and it stuck. He just lost it late exit, second quickest for Sam.
Boy, I thought he had it. That's a great lap.
Real nice work, man. Proud of you, dude.
14 1/1000ths. Hornish is second to Tony Stewart. Dick.
With Jimmy Johnson, compared to last fall, you're not going to have a lot of traffic in front of you when they drop the green flag here in Texas. It's all going to be behind you.
You're right, but to be a smart aleck here for a second, I just watched the 77 go to second, so the guy I had trouble with here last fall is ahead of me. But I was picking on Sam. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, he's been doing a good job here as the years progress. But you know, just a great lap for us. We were really fast in practice. Had a problem with some bumps down in 3 and 4, and Chad fixed it, and probably left a little on the table. I was expecting it to drag the track, and it didn't. So very, very pleased with the Lowe's Impala, and looks like we'll have a good starting spot.
Nice job. Thanks.
His teammate Mark Martin in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet number 5 has 11 top 10 starts and 10 top 10 finishes here.
And he was real happy with the way his car was driving in that first practice session. They started off in race trim. He was happy. They went to qualifying trim, but about the best they could squeeze out of it in practice was 21st quickest.
You know, Rick told me when they put this HendrickCars.com on the race cars that it jams the phone lines.
Really?
Yeah, I said it's just amazing the response they get from sponsoring the race car.
18th for Mark Martin, 28.67.
Well, I'm like Darrell pointed out a while ago, you can maybe run in the low 60s and be pretty decent. High 60s, you might be way back.
You're hurting.
He just ran exactly what his fastest lap of practice was.
Yeah.
To the 1000th.
Going to run that second lap. I don't think it'll be to no avail, though. He'll only be the second car to run the second lap. Scott Speed being the other one.
Yeah, he slowed down.
Dick.
With Tony Stewart, Smoke, P1, fastest man in Texas. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's like the sky's falling here. So, yeah, qualifying's not my strong suit, but Darian Grubb and these guys on this Office Depot Old Spice team have got a really good car here for this weekend. So, really proud of them so far.
Okay, good job. Thanks.
Again, I think it's just think about the momentum. I mean, his team's coming off a win last Saturday night at not his team, but his team car. And here he is, pretty darn good shot at the pole today.
And I don't mean to count anybody out. Certainly anybody could jump up there. We saw that last week at Phoenix. But if you look at the practice sheet, one of the biggest bullets is what used to be his teammate Kyle Busch in that 18 car.
Jeff Burton has one outside front row start here. Last week at Phoenix, Burton got a penalty for pitting outside the box. And that dropped him off the lead lap, and he ended up losing 2 spots in the points to 7th.
Could never
overcome it. Never
Every time they would caution would come out, the leader would just have lapped the car in front of him.
Tell you what, this is going to be a pretty solid qualifying run. Of course, his teammate Clint Boyer was 6th, now Burton's 6th.
It's funny with Burton, isn't it? I mean, I never thought about him being a very good qualifier. We struggle with that a lot, but man, this year they've turned it up.
He paid attention to what you've been saying about
he
him.
did.
Sprint gives you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Jimmy Johnson comes in here as the point leader. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed.
But you know, qualifying, Larry, is such a fine line between a car that's fast and something you can drive. You know, it's really hard to get something that's comfortable to drive at these speeds that these guys are running.
Jamie McMurray, the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet and the Daytona 500 winner, has 9 nationwide races and 12 Cup starts here with the best start of 4th.
Sound like he had a lot of trouble off the 2 over there.
But yeah, Darrell, this surface is, you know, about 13, 14 years old now, and they're still trying to run around here just as fast as we did when the track had a lot more grip back in the day.
Yep.
That's just all I've got.
12th quickest for McMurray, 28.50. Krista?
Well, a lot of the 24 crew members surrounding the DuPont Chevrolet, and not for good reasons right now. What's going on with your race car, Jeff?
Well, the race car's been really good. We're excited about having special forces on board our National Guard DuPont Chevrolet, and
It's been good all the way up until this point. We're having a little bit of a battery issue. NASCAR is going to allow us to change the battery here, so hopefully this other battery will fix it. But you know, the times are coming down. We drew a great late number here, and didn't get my best lap in practice, so I'm hoping all the adjustments Steve and these guys made, and if I can hit my marks, we'll have a shot at it.
Yeah, really good race car in practice for Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, he's about 6 cars away from his qualifying draw position, which is second to the end of the top 35.
Now, Mike, if we look real close in front of the rear tires on each side of this car, they're carrying a decal honoring the 29 coal miners who lost their lives April 5th in that mine explosion in Montcoal, West Virginia. It's just right there in front of the rear tires on each side. Great thing, Richard Childress Racing paying tribute to those men and women and their families.
Absolutely.
Prayers go out to all those families. What a tragedy.
Kevin Harvick has one second row start here in 14 attempts. He is 14th right now with a 28.59. Makes him a little slower than Boyer and Burton, who ran 38 and 39 respectively. Dick?
With Sam Hornish, who has won 3 IndyCar races at this place and is doing better and better and better with the stock cars. What have you learned that is letting you do this kind of stuff? Qualifying well here, running so well at Phoenix?
Well, I think that really the big thing is just getting the team all together on the same page. You know, Travis was basically a new crew chief with just a couple races at the beginning of last year, so it took a little bit to get him and I on the same page. I think that we're starting to click better. All the guys on the team are right there in tune, and it's just the growth of the 77 car as a whole. But you know, really happy with the Mobil 1 Dodge and how it ran in our race runs today. We didn't get a good last run of qualifying in. We thought that we could probably be in the top 10 to start, but you know, we're definitely really happy with how we ran in qualifying so far.
Well, if this guy runs as well in the stock cars as he ran in Indy cars, everybody better watch it because he's moving right to the front.
And I think it's such a compliment to Roger Penske. You know, a lot of car owners would have bailed on Sam Hornish, but Roger knew what the kid could do if he got everything right.
You know, Mike, you mentioned his 3 wins here as we watch A.J. Allmendinger, the pole sitter from last week at Phoenix, make his qualifying run. And Sam told me, ironically, the places he has struggled the most, the places he ran the IRL car, because it's so different in that car versus this Cup car.
14th for A.J. Allmendinger in the Best Buy Ford, 28.56.
Yeah, probably in a stock car, you say, I didn't know that bump was in that corner. Never felt it before.
Go across it so fast with an Indy car.
Next up, the driver who won the pole for the nationwide race, Joey Logano and Martin Truex. Qualifying for the Samsung Mobil 500 Sunday on Fox at Texas Motor Speedway. Today is Dallas Morning News qualifying day, and Joey Logano in the Home Depot Toyota. 11th in the points. He picked up 2 spots last week in Phoenix.
But you saw right there on the graphic the difference after 7 races from a year ago to now, and that equates he scored 352 more points this year at this point versus last year.
Joey was 19th in practice, and it looks like that's right around where he's going to land.
He is the pole sitter for that Nationwide Series race tomorrow.
He's still, I know he's much better here, but he loves those nationwide cars because that's what he has all of his experience in.
15th, 28.58. A credible lap for Logano. Next month, you'll see Joey Logano and all the biggest stars in NASCAR in a winner-take-all invitational event. We'll see who takes the checkered flag and is crowned best of the best. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series All-Star Race, live from Charlotte, Saturday, May 22nd, only on Speed.
Where they let it all hang out, right there at that race. I love that race.
You know, that's what's going to make a lot of these races coming up over the next month. Plus that race prior to the All-Star race, we've got a lot of guys that are not in that All-Star race that you wouldn't expect, like Greg Biffle. He's not in it yet because he didn't win a race last year or this year so far.
Jeff Burton. There's a number of guys that are campaigning heavily on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else trying to get votes.
Martin Truex picking it up here in the back straightaway, trying to move up into the top 10 in the Napa Toyota. Martin has a pole here in the fall race of 2007. It was his first of 4 Cup poles.
It's going to be a far cry better than what he practiced. He was 27th quickest, and he's going to end up 12th quickest on that lap right there, 28:46.
Getting into some heavy hitters now there. You got Hamlin coming here. We got Kyle Busch next, and then Jeff Gordon. Those are 3 guys right there that if Tony Stewart can dodge, he's got it made.
Well, there are 4 drivers left to go among the top 35, and then we will move into knockout qualifying with 3 drivers taking the early trip home. Denny Hamlin had 4 straight top 10 starts here. That was back in 06 and 07, and then things have fallen off a bit. He did finish second here last fall, which until he won at Homestead was his best ever finish on a 1.5-mile track.
It's kind of one of those high lines coming to get the green, you know, getting up that good straightaway speed. We'll see how that pays off for him. In theory, it should work.
Denny said this week that, you know, certainly his knee was sore after the Phoenix race, but he felt like this place would be a lot easier on it than Phoenix last week. You don't use near the amount of brake and different things like that that you do at Phoenix.
500 miles at this joint, it ain't easy, I can tell you. But, yeah, you don't have to use the brakes as much. That's the one plus.
Fell off there at the end off turn 4, dropped out of the top 20 to 24th. A 28.63 for Hamlin.
I thought he was trying that high line to get up straightaway speed. I'm just not sure the car would turn to the bottom.
Yeah, because he didn't run a whole lot different through there on his actual qualifying lap.
It's almost like they had the car was too tight pushing the front tires.
Speeds today, pole speed is faster than either race last year. 3/100ths quicker than the November pole. However, it looks like Atlanta's claim to be the fastest track in NASCAR is not in jeopardy unless this fella does it.
But the thing about it, Mike, you know, I know we run the carburetor restrictor plate at Daytona, but you got a mile more racetrack. It's faster than what they ran at Daytona back in February.
191 miles an hour right now around here. That's getting it on, boys.
Kyle Busch has one third-place start here. And last fall finished 11th after running out of gas while leading with 3 laps to go after leading 232 laps.
And just look at that, Mike. 174 miles an hour through the corner. And let's see what we got down the back straightaway there. 197 down the back straightaway. Probably close to 2-0 and going into 1 down here.
Looks like he's not quite going to threaten for the pole, but
good lap.
Will be the quickest Toyota, 7th with a 28.38.
Yeah, he picked up about 1.5 tenths from what he ran in practice. And by far, not only the fastest Toyota, but of course the fastest.
I don't know where there's more.
Good lap.
You know, he's trying to accomplish something tomorrow that only Dale Earnhardt Sr. has accomplished in the Nationwide Series. He's trying to win his 5th consecutive Nationwide Series race here at Texas Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt Sr. did it at Daytona.
Jeff Gordon's last pole in the Sprint Cup Series came here last fall. He has 2 poles at this racetrack. 12 top 10 starts in 18 Texas races for an average starting position of 9.3.
I'm going to tell you what, I think with everything we've had happening at the end of these last 2 races, he's kind of got lost in the shuffle. But since we went to the rear spoiler, we know it was at Martinsville and at Phoenix. Finished 3rd at Martinsville, 2nd at Phoenix.
And comes in here 5th in the Sprint Cup standings. He picked up 2 positions last week, but
not today. This thing just not to. Nope. Doesn't have the speed in it. See how long? Look how long he's out of the throttle. Well, I mean, out of the gas a long, long time.
A little free, guys. Good job, though.
So the DuPont National Guard Special Forces Chevrolet clocks in 12th with a 28.44. Kevin Conway next, and then we move into knockout qualifying. Tony Stewart quickest, Sam Hornish. Greg Biffle, Chevy Dodge Ford with Kyle Busch the quickest Toyota in 7th. Here is Kevin Conway in the Extends Ford, racing out of a top 35 spot, so he'll be in the show on Sunday. And after Conway, we will move to knockout qualifying. Kevin has only 1 NASCAR start here nationwide race last fall, started 31st, finished in the top 20.
Yeah, you know, I keep bragging on this kid because I am impressed with this. He hasn't done anything spectacular. That's what I'm impressed with.
Right.
He's just been out there logging laps, getting seat time. I really think this team, I think this driver could step up when he gets some more experience.
Let him make one trip around the circuit, and then when we come back the second go around, you know, things should step up. You know, certainly looks like he's in line to win the Robestos Rookie of the Year. You know, it's only he and Terry Cook right now.
Well, they've been finishing races, and that's the key to staying in the top 35. Is to be running at the finish. They have done that. A lot of folks looked at this operation at the start of the year and said, well, they'll be outside the top 35 after 5 races. Didn't happen. You're right, Darrell. He's done well, and he clocks in 33rd with a 28.91.
It's solid.
Solid. Yep. Last week at Phoenix, we saw quite a cat and mouse game among the Starton Parkers. Not in qualifying, but in the race, where one of them pulled into the garage area, sat there in his car, waited for someone else to come into the garage, and then sped back out. And this was repeated so many times we kind of lost count. These are the drivers who must qualify on time, and they are not all start and park cars. Some of them are intending to run the entire race. Bill Elliott is a past series champion, so we know he will race on Sunday. That leaves 7 positions available for the other 10 drivers to fight over. And here we go with Michael McDowell from Glendale, Arizona, who has 3 nationwide series starts here and 2 cup starts, both in Toyotas.
Well, and one of the most famous crashes I think I've ever seen in my entire career, right here, going down into turn 1. I don't think I ever saw a car wreck so hard, fly into so many pieces, and the driver race the next day.
He walked away. Yep, it was a horrible crash. Eddie Gossett said this morning Michael McDowell is driving the pace car on Sunday. I thought, oh, well, that's cool if he doesn't have a ride. And here he is practicing and qualifying. Took a while to figure out that the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDowell, will be driving the pace car.
Michael's first lap 28.72, and unless you really lay a good lap down, I think we'll see most of these go or go home boys probably run that second lap to no avail. I just, unless you really kibosh the first lap in 1 and 2, if you're bad through 3 and 4 on the first lap, it's going to hurt the beginning of the second lap.
Now help me out here. Isn't the singer for the Doobie Brothers Michael McDonald?
Yeah, Michael McDowell is I think he's the lead, was the lead singer for one of the country groups. Not Rascal Flatts, but I'll think of it.
We'll know by Sunday.
Yeah.
We got our best man on it right now.
Peter Frampton's going to be here.
He is, yeah.
Not Roddy McDowell, no. Bill Elliott in the Wood Brothers Motorcraft Ford. Bill had a pole here driving for Ray Evernham in 2002. Finished 9th. This will be his 3rd start in 2010.
Fourth quickest of the go or go home guys in that earlier practice. His time was a 28.82. Don't think his lap's going to be faster than McDowell's. It will not be. Just right behind Michael McDowell at a 28.74. Bill's going to go ahead, looks like and run this second lap.
Sunday, the pace car driver is Mike Madonna from the Dallas Stars National Hockey League team. So how far off were we?
A long way.
A long way off.
Well, I don't know, but I was close. At least I was in the right area code.
How you figure that?
Well, because Michael McDonald used to be the lead singer for Lone Star, I think it was. But I might be wrong. But I'm closer than he was.
All right. Well, who knows? Maybe, you know, if McDowell doesn't make the show, maybe he can ride in the pace car and salvage
a singing race car
here.
driver that plays hockey on the side.
That could do it. Now there's some talent.
You know, I assumed they were going to block off the interstate for the drag strip. That's the only thing I could think of.
The drag strip they're going to build here instead of the one at Atlanta.
Because there's trucks on it right now.
They will build one here. Joe Nemechek. You can go to frontrowjoe.com and be the next sponsor on the number 87. Crosby Roofing is with Joe this week, trying to put his number 87 Toyota into the field.
I mean, Joe would tell you, he doesn't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to race each race. He just wants to put enough on there to pay the expenses, pay the tire bill, pay the engine bill, and he'll race.
It'd be nice to see him get to run all day, which he says when he has sufficient sponsorship, they will do.
Right now, all you really want to do is run a little quicker than a 28.72. That'd make you feel pretty good that you will race on Sunday. Not locked in yet. But
this looks like the low 60s, Larry. This is a good lap. Better yet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be in the low 60. In fact, it will be a 28.60. Puts him 22nd quickest. Not locked in yet, but I think you'll be in good shape with that. I don't know if I'd go ahead and run this second lap.
But you're all right. That is the low 60s.
we got something right. Joe qualified 15th in Las Vegas. He was one of 5 drivers who did not make this race last year. Shut her down. 8 drivers to go. Coming up, Terry Cook and Reed Sorensen. The DirecTV head-to-head knockout competition is now on. Go to directv.com/NASCAR. Fill out your bracket and enter for a chance to win $1 million and other exciting prizes like a 2010 Roush Stage 3 Mustang. Entries close 3 p.m. on Sunday. And you can follow weekly matchups only with DirecTV's NASCAR Hot Pass. Call 1-800-DirecTV to switch today. Got your bracket filled out?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Barry Landis says he has filled out a perfect bracket.
Well, he's the same one that said Biffle was going to win the pole, too. So.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But I think Biffle's a little ahead of your man, Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now.
So his wrong is better than my wrong?
Terry Cook, who ran the whole race in Phoenix and raced in both of the Nationwide Series races here last year in the AutismSpeaks.org Dodge. He's the other rookie contender for 2010. Has 24 Truck Series races here with a best start of 9th and a best finish of 6th. 7 top 10s, but he has got to get going.
Yeah, the 29.02, I feel pretty safe. That's not going to be fast enough to get you in. You're definitely going to have to run in the 28s, I feel like. He's right on top of what he ran on lap 1. Slowed down a little bit.
So Cook is 38th of 39 so far, and the former Lone Star lead singer is Richie McDonald.
Richie, okay.
So we're very close.
You were halfway there.
Very close. Who did not play hockey, as far as we know.
Well, that's close. Richie's going to be really mad, though, because we're buddies.
How close of buddies are you?
Well, we got a little work to do.
Here's Reed Sorensen in the Dollar General Toyota, who attempted at Daytona, but the number 32 did not make the field there. And so they have a full-time Nationwide Series effort and a very part-time Sprint Cup effort out of Braun Racing.
And Reed's had some pretty good runs in that Nationwide Series car for Braun Racing.
I bet he picks up over what he practiced.
He was actually 6th quickest of the go-or-go homers at a 28.92. Right now, he's not looking very good. Lost a lot of time in 1 and 2 out of the throttle.
Boy, he couldn't get close to the throttle. And the same here, he's coasting a long way before he picks the gas back up.
I'd like to see about a 75 to have any degree of feeling like being in the show. A 70 would be really good. 28.91 for Reed. He is quicker than Terry Cook. But right now, the bottom 3, not counting Bill Elliott, who has that provisional, are McDowell, Sorensen, and Cook are the bottom 3.
I'm like you, Mike. I don't have a good feeling about anything in the 90s or certainly outside the 28-second bracket.
Well, if he could just get back to the gas, but he's having to wait so long. It's killing his lap time.
Now, he may be the first car to pick up a lap 2.
Yes. One spot. 36th, 28.86. He gained 5 100ths, and who knows? That may be the difference.
Could be very, very important. Anybody for cake?
Ooh, congrats.
I believe they've already been into it, it looks like.
That or it's hit the wall.
Yeah.
A little front end damage.
Lost his splitter.
Chocolate and vanilla.
Hard to believe.
How diplomatic.
Hard to believe Tony's been here for 400 races.
Yes. Max Pappas in the Geico number 13 has 1 nationwide and 1 truck race here. He's been in 6 races this season. He's qualified for every race but Bristol. Take a second to tell you who's not here. Raymond Key,
Look at
Keyed Up
Booty.
Motorsports.
Booty's been sitting there for an hour.
That's right. Watching his car go. The number 90 team has elected to drop back to a part-time schedule. Casey Mears had been their driver. They had Scott Riggs last week and were on their way to a good top 15 finish when Riggs cut down a tire, prompting the last caution of the race. So the 90 car is not here, and Tommy Baldwin Racing has cut back from 2 cars to 1. It looks like Max Pappas is going to put himself in the show.
Yeah, he's working on it. Looking pretty good here.
Yeah, he was the fastest of the go homers, and I think he's going to be in great shape here.
Nice lap, 26th with a 28.62.
Tell him, Booty. Tell him, Booty.
He will join Joe Nemechek and be in the show for tomorrow. And that
You're in.
Attaboy.
That leaves the bottom 3 as McDowell, Sorensen, and Cook.
I've been wearing Booty out about that second lap. It's like when you're in, don't run it, Booty.
NASCAR's weekend in Texas continues later tonight here on Speed with ARCA Racing, 7:30 Eastern. Tomorrow, 2 sessions of Sprint Cup Series practice right here on Speed. Sunday begins with NASCAR Race Day on Speed. The Sprint Cup Series race is on Fox, followed by NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed as coverage of NASCAR continues all weekend long on Fox and Speed. Johnny Sauter in the number 36 as team owner Tom Baldwin released Mike Bliss after Phoenix last week and moved Johnny Sauter to the 36 car.
Boy, that's not good at all there. No, that's the slowest of all of our cars.
Car is just not handling, Larry. I mean, I watched him go into turn 1, and the car was just almost out of control. Caught it. Really taking the speed out of this thing. You can hear him. He can't get it. It looks like it's just terrible loose.
Yeah, it's not down in the racetrack with either end, but mainly a real tail happy. And this is not going to get in this show at all.
Nope. The Wave Energy Drink Chevrolet is likely headed for the house. That locks in Michael McDowell. And now the slowest 3 are Sorensen, Cook, and Sauter.
So it'd be 2 weeks in a row this 36 car will not qualify, and they were very close a few weeks ago of getting into the top 35.
That's right. Dave Blaney for Prism Motorsports, 40th in the point standings. He has 1 top 15 start here when he was driving for Richard Childress back in 05. Qualified 5th at California and 3rd at Bristol. He needs to beat a 28.86 to lock in, which he should be able to do.
But they couldn't have, I've been so impressed with the job Blaney has done. Dave Blaney, the driver, not necessarily how they race, but this guy has been able to get to 66 in the race almost every week, and he's doing the same magic here with the 55.
And he's going to be in great shape if he just gets through 3 and 4 to any degree. Of course, the 55 next week at Talladega Super Speedway. Couldn't think of a better guy to mash that throttle. Michael Waltrip will be racing down there.
Good lap, 24th, second fastest of the go home group, a 28.61. Blaney will race on Sunday, and the bottom 3 remain: Reed Sorensen, Terry Cook, and Johnny Sauter.
And Bill Elliott is locked in on his time, so the championship provisional plays no role in this.
3 drivers left to qualify, 3 spots available.
3 pretty good race cars. Stremme was.
He was 7th quickest of the go home cars earlier, Darrell.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
He's run 2 races in the AIR number 26 Air National Guard machine. 24th at Bristol at the finish, 36th at Martinsville. Missed the show last week in Phoenix.
Well, let's see how he looks here coming to get the green. Got it through there pretty nice. Good bit of speed.
He has to beat Reed Sorensen at a 28.86. That's where the green line is on the tracker, right near where his arrow was. Whoa, all over the place there.
Well, he backed off way early, but he did try to pick the throttle back up real quickly, and that helped him a little bit.
Needs some straightaway speed, Darrell.
I'm not sure if he was just not confident with the car, or the car did something he didn't expect it to do, because he kind of double hitched it get down into turn 1.
This becomes a maybe lap right here and falls off. He is just ahead of Terry Cook with a 28.94. That will send Johnny Sauter to the house, and it leaves Sorensen, Stremme, and Cook as the bottom 3. Mike Bliss and Travis Kvapil yet to go.
So unless he picks up, that's going to lock Reed Sorensen into this show, and I think Reed will race on Sunday.
It does.
Reed is in. So Stremme or Cook versus Bliss or Kvapil. We'll find out who makes the show next. Speed's presentation of Sprint Cup qualifying from Texas is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 foot-long subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. And brought to you by Comfort Suites. Recharge after a long day with Comfort Suites. And by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. 2 drivers to go. We mentioned that last week Mike Bliss was released by Tommy Baldwin. He hadn't even reached home when his phone rang, and it was James Finch. Come drive the 09. And Finch released Eric Almirola in favor of Mike Bliss.
Now Mike ran a 28.79 in practice. If he can just run within a 1/10 and a half of that, he'll be in good enough shape to run this race. Right now, looking good shape. This car will race on Sunday.
Yeah, pretty good lap.
Bliss is in with a 28.73, 34th overall, and that will send Terry Cook home after Cook had a fine race at Phoenix, going the distance. So the final spot in the field will go to either David Stremme or Travis Kvapil in the Long John Silver's Ford.
Well, it's going to be a toss-up. One was 7th and one was 8th of the go-or-go homers.
Kvapil has a win here in the Camping World Truck Series, former series champion. He has 6 Cup Series starts.
And you know, we made note of this on our broadcast from Phoenix. Of course, up until this year, the Phoenix race has always been 312 laps, extended to 375. And we were at lap 314 and the engine expired on this 34 car. But the run that Robbie Gordon had, that's what knocked this 34 car out of the top 35.
Larry Stremme was like 7 100ths quicker in practice than Travis was. And so that's how close it's going to be between these 2 guys, I believe.
Decent lap. Just has to stay left of the green line to race on Sunday.
I think he's going to be in good shape unless it gets a bad push off of 4. I think
lost some time, but I think he's okay.
He will race on Sunday.
Travis is in, 35th fastest, 28.74.
Good enough.
David Stremme goes home.
Good job, man.
And the difference, Reed Sorensen with an 86 and Stremme 8 100ths of a second slower, fails to qualify, along with Johnny Sauter and Terry Cook.
Now, with the exception of Brian Vickers, which we're not sure what happened to him, it's essentially close to the fastest 43 cars that's going to run this race on Sunday.
For Tony Stewart, it's his first pole in 156 races. Krista, it's been a long, long time.
It has been a long time. 4.5 years since we've done one of these pole winning interviews, and I would imagine it feels even better when it's your own team.
Yeah, it's Ryan puts the pressure on me because he's a great qualifier, obviously, and you know, Ryan and Tony Gibson were two of the first guys after our run to come down here and congratulate us on a good run. So we're very appreciative and glad that we got this done for Off Steeple on Old Spice today.
And what some folks might not know, you've had poles here at Texas, but it was in Indy cars. Your first pole at Texas in a stock car.
Yeah, this one was a little harder than IndyCar was. The Indy cars, you could hold them wide open around here, and it was just trying to hold a real steady wheel. And these cars, you got to manhandle them a little bit more. But this thing's been really fast all day, and you know, Darian and Grubb and all the guys have been working on this Chevy and making it fast. So I'm happy. I forgot what it's like to win a pole.
Does it feel like 4.5 years?
Yeah, it does actually. I'm just not a good qualifier. It's you know, but a day like today, when you get a car that's as good as what Darian and these guys have given us, it's you know, we got to thank Hendrick Chassis and Engines, and this one's for everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing. They've really been working hard, and last weekend was a good weekend for us there as an organization, and really proud of what they're doing. So thank you guys.
Yep, the celebration continues for Stewart-Haas Racing from the win in Phoenix to the pole in Texas.
All I know, Mike, it may be coincidental, but that's the two guys on the front row that has a little experience with Indy cars here, Tony Stewart and Sam Hornish.
More from Texas after this. Tony Stewart and the Stewart-Haas team continue to celebrate down in Victory Lane. Honored as winning
Mike,
the pole for Sunday.
Tony said, you know, Hendrick Chassis and Engines, but attaboy to the Stewart-Haas guys back at the shop. It's the detail. You pay attention to detail. That's how you win a pole. So good job on the team's part.
Pretty impressive 6 days for that group, winning at Phoenix with Ryan Newman, both cars qualifying in the top 10 here.
You know, we've not had a repeat pole winner this year. Nobody's won two.
Yeah.
So Stewart the quickest Chevy, Hornish the fastest Dodge, Biffle the fastest Ford, and Kyle Busch seventh, the quickest of the Toyotas. As you look back through the starting lineup for Sunday's Samsung Mobile 500.
A couple of guys deep in the field that I think will be pretty tough on Sunday. You saw Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth way back there.
That was a big surprise. Hamlin back there too.
And three drivers missed the show. David Stremme by about 8/100ths of a second. Terry Cook and Johnny Sauter will go home disappointed.
It's going to be a fun race to watch, Mike, with the spoiler and the tires. Weather should be, you know, a little overcast. Track will be fast.
And you'll want to watch our practice coverage tomorrow. That's where some drivers said they're going to practice running in traffic, and we'll see if they pick up that aero push when they get close up behind another car or not.
Well, we might just go boogity, 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 boys.
Nice flag.
And they got them all covered there.
Oh.
Speed, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Fellas, qualifying went so fast, I think we're going to rush over to the speed stage for a little bonus coverage of trackside.
Oh, nice. We love our little Friday night party.
Get her on, Larry. What do you say?
Congratulations, Tony Stewart, pole winner in Texas.